Well, now let's bring in author of the new book, Killing the Legends, my good friend, Bill O'Reilly. In fact, we're so close we sometimes travel together. There's the book right there, Killing the Legend. I'm just kidding about the travel part. Maybe we had dinner once or twice, but I owe it all to you. Bill, before we get into the book, so the monologue was all about how the deterioration of American society is going on in front of us in real time, and it seems like America is just frozen. It's almost like we're watching a train wreck about to happen. We can't do anything about it. Are we becoming Sodom and Gomorrah, and we know how it turned out for them?
Well, individual mores, in a free society are legion. They're everywhere. But I think that we want to think back to the funeral of the Queen of England. So there we saw a nation come together to honor its tradition, the royal family. There are many British subjects that don't like the royal family, a bunch of freeloaders. They spend billions of dollars of taxpayer money, but the whole country pretty much said, we have a tradition of monarchy here. We're going to honor that tradition because it brings us together as a nation. So then you come across the pond, as they say, to America, where our traditions are now under siege because the progressive far left wants to wipe them out, much like the great revolution that Mao Zedong brought upon China. All Chinese traditions were wiped out by the communist Mao. That's the same mindset that's in play in America. Now, the difference is, because this has happened before, the press didn't used to buy into this, and now it does. It enables and empowers the far-left zealots to come after school children, or whoever it may be.
But this is more, Bill, this is much heavier, much deeper than just abandoning our traditions. There are trans people on stages with 2 and 3 and 4-year-old babies, looking at them as they're spreading their legs. And on one hand, and on the other hand, there are people being knocked out cold from a punch, and everyone's standing around and does nothing. This is beyond tradition. This is our morals, our fabric of our society is being shredded by the liberal left.
But I don't think that's the majority in the country, Bolling. I don't think the majority supports that. And I think that they're angry about it. And I think that the progressive leftists who do foster that upon children in particular are going to get destroyed. It's a matter of when, not if. I think there's enough traditional, clear thinking in America to say this is pernicious.
My fear, Bill, is that they're there. They're enough, but they're not doing anything. I mean, aside from Bill O'Reilly, Eric Bolling, and a few others on television and radio, no one seems to want to lift a finger. Go ahead.
I disagree. I think there are local school boards across the country, saw it in Virginia, where people are furious. And they're venting, and we don't hear about it because the press presses that kind of coverage. Mm-hmm. But I think it's happening. I think people are very, very angry about this permissiveness and what we're seeing in our culture, and I don't think it's going to work. The disgrace of it is that you don't have leaders in both parties speaking out against it as much as they should be, because they're afraid.
Yeah,
they're afraid.
I agree. Completely
will turn on them.
Bill,
absolutely.
Speaking of the media, one of our former colleagues, Chris Wallace at Fox, went over to CNN. Pull up the headline, control them if you have it. CNN, Chris Wallace, CNN celebrity talk show debut tanks in the ratings. Any surprise there?
No. Chris Wallace is a very talented man, but he has no constituency. So because of his anti-Trump posture, he alienated conservatives, Fox News viewers. And because he worked on Fox, he alienated the CNN left-wing crew. So who's going to watch him? He doesn't have anybody to play to.
But what was he thinking? Is he going to do a celebrity talk show? Chris Wallace strikes me as anything but a celebrity talk show host. I mean, maybe give him left of center politics, but celebrities?
Well, he's not. I don't think he's going to do a celebrity show. He's just trying to get big names in, like his father did. It's funny. I have a new show, I don't even know if you know this, called Shock and Awe on VidGo, which is a streaming service. And I stole the idea from the show from Mike Wallace, Chris Wallace's father. The old show was called Night Beat in the 1950s, where you get the smartest person that you can find on a particular subject, and you interview them one-on-one. And that's what we're doing on VidGo, and it's been very successful in the first 3 weeks in operation. But Chris Wallace himself, I don't think he's going to be a celebrity kind of guy. He's just going to try to do interviews. But the problem is that he's not trusted on either side.
Yeah, that is a problem.
And in TV, that's a big problem.
That is a problem. And I think he's going to seek out. We have another colleague that went to seek out the celebrity talk. It didn't work out. Anyway, Bill, hang tight, please. I want our audience to know Bill's coming back right after the break. Now to continue our conversation is the author of that new book, Killing the Legends, my good friend Bill O'Reilly. Bill, welcome back. Yeah, Bill, yesterday, help me out here, my friend. I attribute a lot of what I do to you. I studied under you. I filled in for you a lot of times. I've been talking to my audience about Tucker Carlson and how he's continuously being used as a pawn by the sociopath Vladimir Putin. Tucker continues to be part of their state news at night. They're using rolling clips of Tucker. And I said, hey, folks, go talk to Tucker and tell him cut it out. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're on the war. Why be used as a pawn? What do you care to weigh in on that?
You know, I don't know. I don't watch very much. I'm very, very busy, as you know, Bolling. I don't criticize unless there's hate involved. Other people on the air. I didn't criticize Chris Wallace. We just talked about him. I think that the pursuit of fame, and this goes to my new book, Killing the Legends, The Lethal Danger of Celebrity, the pursuit of fame, and I'm not putting Carlson into this category because I don't know, causes people to do things they ordinarily would not do. And the people that I write about, Elvis Presley and John Lennon and Muhammad Ali, titans, all lost control of their lives because of the pursuit of fame and fortune, and they got crushed by it. And you can extend that to Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And being famous, and I was in the position of Tucker Carlson for more than 20 years, makes you a target. And you've got to know how to handle that. And it's harrowing because people hate you in some cases. They want to hurt you. Now, with Ali and Lennon and Elvis, their lives blew up. They lost control of their lives, all three of them. In Trump's case, the celebrity fame thing has hurt him dramatically because it's almost like adrenaline for him, and he gets involved in far too many controversies. Stuff he should overlook, he doesn't.
Yeah, but wasn't that, Bill, wasn't that...
Wait. Oh. He's got to be in the center of the action. And with Biden, the fame thing meant he abandoned every core belief he had. Yeah. From his Catholicism, abortion, to tough on crime, to moderate Democrat, all got thrown out because he wanted that fame and power. Well,
he wanted the presidency.
It's a narcotic.
Yeah, it is a narcotic, but Trump, I'll push back a little bit, but it's not because he's the same Trump. You and I have known him for 25, 30 years. I mean, he's the same guy as when he was running businesses, as when he ran Apprentice, the Celebrity Apprentice, to ran for president. Yeah, sure, it's an adrenaline rush, but he didn't change for the office. I mean, if you remember those early press conferences, he was just ripping into Jim Acosta and the other people in the briefing room. So I push back and say that he didn't change. Now, let's talk about your book and Elvis for a second. I know a lot about Elvis. That man was an adrenaline junkie. He thrived on the audience. If he didn't have the audience, he was dying. It was like water and oxygen to him. I don't see that as Trump or Biden. You? You
don't think Trump likes the audience? You don't think he likes the adulation out there?
I do. Anyway, I do, but it hasn't changed. If you know Elvis started out like loving music. He started out as emulating gospel singers and bringing rock and roll to gospel. It was fantastic, and until the audience became bigger than his music.
Bolling. This book is cultural history. A teenager from Tupelo, Mississippi, blows up the American culture in the 1950s. You weren't alive then, I was. It was conformity across the board after World War II. Dwight Eisenhower president. Everybody looked the same. Everybody talked the same. And there was no rebellion. Elvis Presley goes on Ed Sullivan. Boom. That culture is shattered. Religious pastors are burning his records. Parents are telling their sons, you can't look like Elvis. Girls are screaming because Elvis is gyrating. The whole culture changes. That's huge in history.
Okay, fair enough. How did John Lennon make your legend? I agree with you on Elvis. I agree with you on Muhammad Ali, but Lennon feels like this one thing doesn't belong. And I would say Lennon because everyone knows the Rolling Stones are way better than the Beatles. But go ahead.
Okay, Bolling, calm down. 1964. The culture that Elvis then blew up blows up again from 64 to 70. The Beatles are in the forefront of that. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. We have it today. Magical Mystery Tour, Sgt. Pepper, biggest act in the world. If you look at 64,
boy band,
and then 68,
first American boy band, first European boy band.
Changes again. The whole culture changes again.
Bill, right? your book,
Ali,
your book. I'm running out of time, but your book is going to skyrocket right to the #1 spot in the New York Times bestseller list, as they all do. Folks, go out and get Killing the Legends. I'm going to read my private copy that Bill didn't sign for me, but should have, but could have. Before we go, though, we saw this picture. I think there's a happy birthday in order here. Take a look. I think this is Holly's birthday. Is that right? Can we show that picture,
Holly
folks?
the Pterodon.
And
7 years old.
What I'd like to point out is see that those eyes, Bill. It's almost like blink twice, Holly. Make sure you're not a hostage. We need to contact the FBI. I mean, looks a little scary. I'll give you a little. Here's Ari, my little dog. Take a look at Ari. This is how a dog tells you how she loves you. Look at that. Oh, see how this is looking at. Oh, kisses. Now, can we see Holly again? Can we see Holly again?
No. Is that a tattoo you got there, Bolling?
Let's see. Yeah, it's a sleeve. It's a sleeve. Where's Holly?
Yeah,
Where's
what
Holly?
Are you, a Hell's Angel
Where's
now,
Holly?
or what?
Look at Holly.
You got a bike
Save
out there?
me.
You and Sonny Barger?
Holly's saying, "Hey Ari, save me here." Bill, always great having you. Hey, good luck on the book. Congratulations, another New York Times bestseller. Talk to you again soon.